Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today we are going to take a detailed look at the geography of Zimbabwe so that you can know everything that you need to know. So let's begin. Zimbabwe is a landlocked country located in South Central Africa. It occupies an area of 390,757 square kilometers, of which 3,910 is covered by water. It extends 852 kilometers west-northwest to east-southeast and 710 kilometers north-northeast to south-southwest. Comparatively, the area occupied by Zimbabwe is slightly larger than Japan or the state of Montana in the USA. Zimbabwe is ranked 62nd in terms of total area, bordered to the north and east by Mozambique, to the south by the Republic of South Africa, on the southwest by Botswana, and on the north and northwest by Zambia. Zimbabwe has a total boundary length of 3,066 kilometers. Zimbabwe's capital city, Harare, is located on the northeastern part of the country. Most of Zimbabwe is rolling plateau, with over 75% of the country lying between 600 and 1,500 meters above sea level, and almost all of it is above 300 meters above sea level. The plateaus of Zimbabwe can be divided into three areas: the low-veld, the mid-veld, and the high-veld. The term veld is used to refer to wide open and cultivated country or grassland. The area of high plateau, known as the high veld, runs northeast to southeast. The central high veld varies in topography, from relatively smooth to rough and mountainous terrain. It occupies approximately one quarter of Zimbabwe. It is some 650 kilometers long and 80 kilometers wide, and stretches northeast to southwest, and 1,200 to 1,675 meters above sea level. In the northeast, near the border with Mozambique, the plateau reaches the highest point in the country at Mount Nyangani, which is 2,592 meters high. The mid-veld is a plateau that ranges from 900 to 1,200 meters above sea level. This region occupies space on both sides of the high veld and is characterized by an area of woodland savanna and bracken-covered hills. The mid-veld gives way to the low-veld, located in the southern parts of Zimbabwe near the borders. The low-veld is a plateau with an altitude of below 600 meters. This region is hotter and drier than the rest of the country and is characterized by grassy plains. The low-veld covers nearly one-fifth of Zimbabwe's territory. The lowest point in the country, at 162 meters above sea level, is the intersection of the Runde and Save rivers in the southeastern corner of the country near the Mozambican border. Zimbabwe has a tropical climate, and the country experiences four distinct seasons. The summer rainy season, which lasts from November to March. It is followed by a transitional season, during which both temperature and rainfall decrease. A cold dry season follows, usually lasting from mid-May to mid-August. And finally, there is a warm dry season, which lasts until the onset of the summer rains. Altitude and relief greatly affect both temperature and rainfall in Zimbabwe. The higher areas in the east receive more rainfall, and are cooler than the lower areas. Summer temperatures on the high veld can reach 30 degrees Celsius during the day, and 14 degrees Celsius at night time. In winter, they range between 20 degrees Celsius during the day and can reach 5 degrees Celsius at night time. On the lower areas, temperatures are usually 6 degrees higher. Rainfall decreases from east to west. The eastern mountains receive more than 100 centimeters of rainfall annually, while Harare receives 81 centimeters, and Bulawayo receives 61 centimeters. The south and southwest receive little rainfall. Seasonal shortages of water are common. The high veld forms the country's watershed, with streams flowing southeast to the Limpopo and Sabi rivers, and northwest to the Zambezi River. Only the largest of the many rivers have an all-year-round flow of water. Some key attractions in the country are the Victoria Falls, locally known as the Smoke That Thunders. It is one of the most impressive natural sights on the African continent. Located on the border between Zimbabwe and Zambia, it is the world's widest waterfall at 1.7 kilometers wide. There are walkways and viewpoints, as well as adrenaline-fueled activities like bungee jumping and water white rafting. Another is the Great Zimbabwe, the capital of the Kingdom of Zimbabwe during the late Iron Age. The kingdom the country is named after. The ruined city of Great Zimbabwe spans an area of 7.22 square kilometers, or 1,780 acres. At its peak, the city is believed to have housed up to 18,000 people. There are more than 200 such cities around southern Africa, Great Zimbabwe being the largest of them. It is now one of the most important archaeological sites in sub-Saharan Africa. It is also recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Hwangwe National Park, located in western Zimbabwe, is also a must-see. Hwangwe National Park is the largest and oldest game reserve in the country. It is home to the Big Five and is especially famous for its huge herds of elephant and buffalo. Hwangwe is also a haven for several rare or endangered species, including the South African cheetah, the brown hyena, and the African wild dog. Although Zimbabwe has no natural lakes, its many dams have created numerous artificial lakes. The largest of these reservoirs is Lake Kariba, situated on the Zambezi River at the border with Zambia. It is the largest man-made lake in the world. It was created in 1959 by the damming of the Zambezi River and supports an incredible variety of bird and animal life. It is famous for its houseboat vacations and for game fishing, especially tiger fish. About 42% of the country's land is arable. of which 15% of that is used for farming. Maize, wheat, barley, beans, groundnuts, various leafy greens, dairy products, and livestock are the main food products that are produced locally for consumption. Tobacco and coffee are also produced en masse as well, but these are mainly for exports. Zimbabwe's farmland is extremely fertile and productive. Decades ago, before corruption and mismanagement of resources was rampant, the country was largely food sufficient, to the point where it could export tons of its agricultural surplus to other countries. Currently, that is not the case. Little investment in training and transferring of knowledge, poor research and development facilities, and the lack of modern and efficient technologies have made the agricultural sector unable to keep up with the growing population, forcing the economy and the country to become a net importer of food. The country did achieve potential food sufficiency in 2015 when it produced wheat and corn in excess of its natural consumption. Soil erosion, overgrazing, and desertification will hinder the country's ability to be food sufficient. The country is also losing a number of its native species like cheetahs, antelope, zebras, crocodiles, and many others thanks to loss of habitats as urban centers and agricultural holdings expand and decrease poaching due to lack of employment. One of the worst affected animals is the black rhino. Almost half of the black rhino population was in Zimbabwe. Poaching and loss of habitat have driven them into the brink of extinction. For protection, the government adopted a policy of shooting poachers on sight. Zimbabwe is a country blessed with a number of natural resources, including immense beauty. Zimbabwe has more than half of the world's known chromium ore reserves. It also has the second largest platinum reserves after South Africa. It also has deposits of coal, which under current consumption can serve them for the next 100 years. There are also deposits of gold, nickel, copper, iron ore, vanadium, lithium, tin, and many more. The country is affected by various natural hazards, namely recurring droughts, which have been made worse by global warming and deforestation, and flooding also occurs in some regions during the rainy seasons. However, the most serious of Zimbabwe's environmental problems is the erosion of its agricultural land and deforestation, which is causing desertification in some areas. By 1990, deforestation was progressing at the rate of 70 to 100,000 hectares per year, or about 1.5% of the nation's forest land per annum. This rate of deforestation was reported to the year 2005. This has left the country with little to no primary forests. The relocation of large segments of the population to relatively unproductive lands before and after independence also put severe pressure on those lands, a substantial portion of which may be irreversibly damaged. In 1990, the country's forest cover was at 57.29%. In 2017, it stands closer to 39.5%. Poor mining practices in the country have led to toxic waste and heavy metal pollution of the country's land and water supply. Scientists have said that in the near future, the country's water will not be suitable for consumption before purification. The government is attempting to combat these environmental problems by supporting numerous tree planting campaigns and implementing laws that will force companies to properly dispose of their waste. However, various environmental activists have complained that the government's action has been too slow and ineffective. This brings us to the end of this video on the Zimbabwean geography. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Watch my video on the Zimbabwean people and society to find out how the people live on this landscape, and check out my video on the Zimbabwean economy to find out how much an individual or family has to earn to live a proper life on this landscape. Or watch my video on other countries to learn more about them. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This was a Third World Report by me, Brian. Be sure to like and subscribe to receive more in-depth and detailed videos on country histories and country profiles. Thank you for watching, and kwaheri.